Good evening, everybody. My introduction to Panchamda was as a listener, as a child. And the one thing that really struck me most, song after song after song, was the catch he had. I mean, he could make a melody groove and he could make the groove melodic. And he had a way of combining both of these elements in a way and marry them with each other uh, the most perfect way. So when you're listening to a song, if you listen minutely, there are many, many different things that are happening in the song. But if you sit and study that, it gets into very complex forms and very complicated stuff. But as a piece of music, as a song, it just breezes through you. And the second thing that struck me was that when you hear a Panchamda song, you hear the environment. Every time, this was like when I was a kid, 71, 72, 73. Every time I heard a song, there used to be Vivid Bharati back then, and we used to hear the song, and I used to kind of imagine, oh, there must be this happening, then there must be a hero and a heroine, and they must be dancing in the mountains, or it must be very cold. You know, you have a certain visualization when you hear a piece of music. And every time I would, like, if I happened to see the film, it was exactly the way I had almost 19-20 का फर्क होता था, but exactly very close to how I had visualized it. So he had a way of bringing in the environment somehow, like, you know, work the music around it in such a way that it was not just a piece of song or just a piece of music. There was a lot more going on there, which made you feel the song in a way where it must be set. There was only one place where I think I kind of made a mistake there. There was one song which I loved, and I thought the guy singing that must be somebody who's sitting outside a dargah and singing the song, and the hero must be like on the road, like heartbroken and like walking all over the place. But many years later, when I actually saw the visuals of that particular song, it just turned out to be, excuse my memory, but yeah, there was this song. It turned out to be a song where a guy is singing on the stage, and there's no heroine, but there's Amitabh Bachchan in the movie, and it's from a movie called Benam, and the song is called Yara O Yara. Yeah, so yeah, so that was the only place where my visualization went a little awry, but that was the visualization, that those were the visuals I had when I first heard that song. So, I mean, there are so many things. I mean, anything I say about Panchamda would really be very small, because there are many people who know much more about him and his music. And Brahma, of course, is saying it. One thing I must say about Brahma is I think what he's done is phenomenal. And phenomenal for the reason that he is doing, like he was telling me some time back, he was doing something that maybe Panchamda's son would have done what he was doing. But I said I would add to it, what you're doing is not what Panchamda's son would have done, but because he wouldn't have been able to give the kind of objective perspective to Panchamda, the person, the human being, and the musician, that you, not being his son, are able to give. And another very beautiful thing about Brahma's documentaries is that there is no voiceover, there is nobody narrating anything. The entire story and the perspectives is interwoven completely through what people who knew Panchamda and people who know his music, that's the thread of weaving is coming from the spoken words of the people he has talked to. So that gives a completely, it doesn't lead you on the way a voiceover would lead you on to believe something. It's open for you to interpret what you want to. And I think I'll cut this now. There's just one thing I would say. What the documentary and the series that he's basically satiating our curiosity of Panchamda. We've heard his music. We want to know more about him, his personal life, the person that he was, the human being that he was, his interactions with people, his relationships with people. How did his mind work? How did it function? Why was he the way he was? There is a certain curiosity, and that curiosity Brahma is fulfilling. He's doing what we all would have loved to do but couldn't. But he's taken those extra steps to do that. Ultimately, I think the one great realization we all have from watching Panchamda's documentaries is that we are all human and we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Not us, not the people we live with. And sometimes we feel it is much easier to walk away from a problem than stay put there and bear with it. And we expect that out of other people, but life doesn't work that way. So there is something a lot more personal, at a very personal level. There's something you can take away from the life of Panchamda. That's the way, as Brahma says, that's the way life is. There is no other way it'll be. You have to just take it as it comes. And there are many lessons to be learned from all of this. So Brahma, thank you very much for this, and I'm looking forward to this web series that you're coming up with. Thank you.
Hello. Good evening, everyone here. It's my honor and privilege to be sharing the stage with such distinguished music directors, composers, and Vivek Vaswani, who's a friend. First of all, I would like to compliment Brahmanand Singh for having taken the initiative.
So what was it? What propelled you to do that and things like that? And I said that, had you met Panchamda? And I said, I'd never met Panchamda. And I think, but that curiosity and that compulsion was so high that probably I spent 3.5 years to make that film, and it was a very expensive way of buying a ticket for a film that I wanted to see. So I think that's what I have to share on this day here, and thank you very much for being here. And I'd like Sonu to say a few things if you want, please.